he was really complimentary of your play when we talked to him earlier today. How has he been with you in meetings and kind of assessing your performance when week by week?
Yeah. I mean, Coach Jackson, is very hands-on with the quarterback position, and for good reason. He's helped out a lot of quarterbacks become very successful in this league, and I take everything he says very personal. In the sense of everything he's saying, I'm always writing down notes or little tips and reminders here and there that he might throw out that can really help your play, and it's really helped me out. Just being able to process the offense and process what they're doing defensively, because he'll give you little hints here and there what to look at and how this play is supposed to work, and he'll tell you exactly what he wants, and if you get a look that you're not ready for, how to get out of it or how to make the right decision. And I've been it's been very beneficial for me to have Coach Jackson there in my ear and help me out with this whole process of playing in the NFL.
Cody, I'm sure you're self-critical as well of your own performance. What are you not getting done that you feel like you should be getting done?
I mean, we just need to, like I said, be more consistent throughout the whole game, and put together a complete game and be better on third down was another thing this week, and help ourselves on first and second down, to eliminate some of those third and longs that we had. But, we got to continue to, like I said, just put a full game together. And we started out fast and played well there in the first half, and then came out in the third quarter and stalled a little bit. And, you want to be more successful, especially coming off the momentum we had going into halftime.
Do you feel like you're growing every week?
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting better, in the sense of, learning how to play in the NFL and playing the position in the NFL, and feeling more comfortable with the speed of the game and the tempo and, different looks that you get thrown at you and different things like that. But that just comes, like I said, with more reps. And the more reps I get in game situations has made me feel more comfortable and play a little bit faster and be a little bit quicker with my decision making.
Was there a greater effort to get the ball downfield yesterday? It seemed like the pass, you got the Barnage, you went to Pryor a couple times.
Yeah, we had a couple deep balls there, and the one to Duke was a deep throw. I just missed it, and we got a PI on that one, so that was fortunate. But the first play was 4 verticals, and they played cover 3, and Gary popped open in the seam, and but yeah, I mean that's something that we wanted to do was stretch them a little vertically and also just be very efficient with the football underneath. When you're throwing those underneath routes. But for me, it continues. But whatever play's called, I want to be efficient with it. If it's a shot down the field, if it's there, take it. If not, then check it down and move on, and eliminate turnovers and eliminate bad situations.
So Cody, when you look at the game on today, I assume, are you seeing that there were things that were out there that were left out there because you didn't complete something, or where you didn't see something?
Yeah, I mean, there's always plays you want back. There's always things that obviously that one to Duke. I wish I would have hit and completed and gave him a chance there. And some of those third downs, obviously I wish we would have got the ball, to the right guy and got converted on some of those. But those are something you learn from, and that's something that I take it as. I don't want to hang my head on it, but like you said, I'm very very critical of myself, and I take it very seriously. And it's very important to me, and it's something that I want to see that I did on film, and something that I can do better and I want to learn from, and put that into play this week in practice and work on those things. That way, I can be more efficient in the next game.
One of the things that Hugh has pointed out is the third down conversion rate.
Mm-hmm.
What have you observed, or do you take away from what you see that's not necessarily working, that maybe you feel like you can get to work on third down?
Yeah, I think just knowing where to go with the ball. We get different looks all week and do different things, and like I said, unfortunately, we would have liked to have a little more third and short. But at the same time, it's me. I have to manage the play. If it's third and long and it's there, you take it. If not, don't force the ball. You don't want to turn it over, and it's okay to play the field position game and punt away. But at the end of the day, you want to convert those. Obviously, you want to convert every one and keep your defense off the field and give them a breather. But for me, I just got to go with the ball, go to the right place with the ball, and if it's not there, be smart with it and check it down or throw it away and move on.
Cody, what has Terrell meant to you, not only just in terms of going out there and giving his own field and catching passes for you, but just in the meeting rooms and having been a former quarterback and all that kind of stuff? It seems like you guys are kind of
absolutely. Yeah, Terrell does a great job. He's a great competitor, and he's someone that loves the game and he loves his team, and he really wants to be successful, and he helps me out a ton. And like you said, he played quarterback, so we have conversations about both quarterback wide receiver position that we're on the same page, because he knows our reads, or he knows what we're looking for on certain plays, and he knows what I expect him to do, and I know what he expects me to do on each play. And that, I think, is very beneficial for me to be on the same page with a guy as athletic and effective in our offense as Terrell. And he just shows it week in and week out. You know, he goes out and makes plays, and he's always in the right position, always doing things the right way.
He battled with a hamstring yesterday at a certain point. He
Mhm.
finished out the game with that. What does that show about him, and how much do you need him to be in there?
Yeah. I mean, exactly what I said. Just how tough he is, and how much he loves his team, and how much, you know, he really wants to win, and as we all do. But you know, it's those little things that sometimes you don't know, you know, during the game, and he's battling with an injury and has things going on. But you know, he's staying out there for us and working hard, and that's something, you know, me as a rookie obviously looks up to, and I know the other guys that are in this rookie class, you know, see those older guys that are fighting through different things. But you know, he's a great player, and I'm very fortunate, you know, to be able to play alongside with him, and as well as the rest of this offense. And you know, they just keep, you know, buying into me each week, and you know, believing in me, and I believe in them, and we're just continuing to get better.
Cody, that he might not be ready for Cincinnati then with his injury.
I don't know. I mean, that's Coach Jackson obviously knows more about the injury than I do. But you know, obviously, I'd love to have him out there, and he's been, you know, great for me to be out there and help me out a ton. But you know, that's going to be, you know, for him to get healthy, and hopefully he'll be ready.
Dick LeBeau has this incredible record against rookie quarterbacks.
Mm.
He's like 28-3, his teams against rookie quarterbacks. Was there anything in that game that caused you to say, now I know why? Or was there something you didn't see in your 3 previous games that were?
I mean, they always do. You know, they'll always bring something different. A lot of the stuff they did different was up front. You know, a lot of twist games, different things to, you know, to get to the backfield and get to the quarterback, and they did a good job of that. But yeah, I mean, that's a great defense coordinator, a great defense, and you know, they've done. You know, he's been successful for a long time for many reasons, and you know, you got to be on your best game. You know, when you go up against a defense like that, and like I said, the biggest thing though was the third downs. That's something that obviously we want to convert more of.
What could have been done differently on that 2-point conversion that failed there with, you know, 2:07 to go?
Done.
What could have been done differently to make it work?
Just convert it. I don't know. I mean, just make
you
the.
look at the film. Did you see something? It looked like he was.
No, they
pretty tight.
yeah, they did a good job dropping into coverage there, and we were hoping to get a chance to trail, you know, on a fade, and you know, they played over the top and played off of him, and they did a great job in coverage there. And like I said after the game, you know, I just tried to make something happen and convert there, but you know, hats off to them. They had a great play there.
Cody, you said that something a little bit different in this game was he made several huge plays out of the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the one, I'm just thinking of the one to Ricardo, when you look behind you and you
Mm-hmm.
kind of floated one to him. How comfortable are you, you know, making plays out of the pocket when you have to?
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of the position. That's part of the game, and you know, it'd be nice to sit there and just kind of sit back and have it like 7-on-7 and just throw the ball. But the reality is, you know, there's going to be guys that are coming after you and doing different things up front where you got to, you know, make something happen and help your offensive line out. You know, if it's some different look and you got to get out of the pocket and go make a play, then you know, you want to be very efficient in that. And you know, I was fortunate to be able to get out of there a couple times and make some plays downfield.
How about Ricardo? He obviously made that one nice big play for you, but then he had a couple where he struggled on. How is he coming along for you, and what kind of confidence do you have in him?
I told him after the game he played great, and I went up to him and said, "Man, you played awesome." You know, obviously he's going to be hard on himself with some of those drops, but he's done great. He's done some great things, and he's stepped into a role as a rookie, as you know, getting thrown in there, you know, and making some plays. You know, and he's done a great job of that. And all of us, you know, when we had rookie minicamp with Rashard and Ricardo and some of the younger guys in Corey, you know, we kind of got a little bit of chemistry going there, and I think it's shown in some, you know, different plays the last couple of weeks, especially with Ricardo. But he's a great player, and he's going to be a great player and continue to work hard. And it doesn't worry me at all. You know, I'm still going to throw to him every chance I get whenever he's open.
Hey, Cody, I know when you got here, you were confident that you said you were and thought you could be a starter in this league. But having had success through 4 weeks, do you feel even more confident in where your future can be?
Yeah, I mean, success in the sense of, you know, I've made you know, done some things well, but at the end of the day, you know, I look at the win-loss record, and that's the most important to me. And this team is most important to me, and that's why, you know, I'm not as excited as I would be as if we won those games. But that's, you know, my biggest thing is you know, the stats and everything, and making plays and all that is nice, and it helps your team win. But at the end of the day, you know, you want to win the game, and that's the whole point of it, and that's the whole point of you know, being competitive, and that's what we're striving for every day and every week and every Sunday. And so that's something that obviously we want to start doing. You know, start finishing games, putting together complete games, and winning games. But that's, you know, obviously the most important to me.
How do you approach playing in your first AFC North game And just, how do you view the division and the
Yeah.
importance of these matchups?
Yeah, it's a very tough division. It's very there's a lot of great defenses in this division, and obviously Cincinnati's one of them. And you just got to continue to stick to your process. And I know you guys hear me say it over and over, but that's something that's helped me stay confident and helped me stay calm and continue to just work hard as each week is just stick to the process, go out there and make the plays and go out and have great practice and watch as much film as you can, and that way nothing surprises you on Sunday.
There's obviously bouncing back week to week when you're not getting those results on Sunday is very difficult to do. We've seen over the years where things snowball. How close do you really feel that you are to getting to where you want to be? Or you just off just by a hair? Is it that simplistic?
Yeah, and I mean that's the NFL though. You're going to have close games and it'll come down to a couple plays here and there, and you obviously want to be on the winning side of those. But like I said, I think that's something for us as an offense. We want to put together a complete game, convert better on third down, and do these different things that give us a better chance to win. But yeah, I mean you'll never see me feel defeated. And I know this offense is the same way. And these guys at practice come back ready to work every time, and the leadership on this team is unbelievable. With Joe Thomas and Terrell and Demario Davis and Christian Kirk, all those guys coming out and leading us each week. And you see it on Wednesday practice. You come out and they call up the huddle, and the first thing they say is, hey, we're moving on. It's a new week. We got to work hard. And, obviously we've been very close in the last couple of games, but, we just got to put together a complete game and hopefully come out on top.